So join me in the kitchen to make some skillet browned masa sweet sausage and veggie bites. Super simple, actually. And so I cut up some carrots and some celery into nice, small, easy to cook pieces. And we are combining that with some ground sweet sausage that we're going to just put some olive oil in the pan and get it nice and hot and cook that all together with a simple seasoning arrangement of cumin, onion powder, salt and pepper to taste. And I really kind of figured out the balance based on the aroma coming from the cooking. Now, this was the part I had to get over. I was nervous about this. So, I had never made masa corn tortillas from scratch before. So, it was super simple. I'm over it now. It was 2.5 cups of the flour and 1 2/3 a cup of warm water and a pinch of salt. And then I mix that all in the bowl just with my hands. And it's a little bit sticky, but it's not crazy doughy. But it was pretty simple to come together and actually a great little activity if you're cooking with a little one in the kitchen. And so once I got that all mixed, I rolled it into several different balls. And this is one thing that if I'm making this again, and I definitely am, I would do the balls a little bit, the portions a little bit bigger because I want more surface area to be able to fold and kind of finding that right balance between the meat filling and the amount of masa dough around it. So this was a good little trick that was right on the bag, using the saran wrap, 2 pieces of saran wrap. And instead of using a press or the bottom of a pan, I decided to just use our French rolling pin, which worked out pretty well because I could basically, it was a very tactile experience, so I could really kind of get it to the thinness that I thought would be right and where I needed to. But as you can see, it is kind of sticky, so the saran wrap definitely helps with making it easier process to get through. So once I had gotten everything all cooked and ready to go, then I just started making them one by one and putting a little bit of olive oil in the pan and actually raising up the heat a little bit, and then putting the meat filling just right in the center of the masa area. And each one folded in its own little way. Each one was its own character, but they cooked up just fine. But it was definitely a little bit of trial and error, but tasty, so good. And so it's pretty easy to pull it off of the saran wrap, which is also a nice aspect of using that workflow. And so each of these I would kind of fold over and then do a little bit of pinching to close. And that's where, again, next time I'd make them a little bit bigger, or even slice down all of my veggies and everything down to an even finer state. But I did have a hungry crew to feed, so I was still trying to sort of process and get through it all. But as you can see, once you get going, it really is a pretty fast process, and they cook up very fast because you've already got that meat filling all cooked. So it's just a question of browning the outside. So each go, I was really kind of careful to try to add more oil to get it that nice and hot. But as you can see, I mean, it is a easy little shape. And so in the end, I just served it with a little bit of lime, which was a nice little flavor to add to it as well. And some pea shoots that are always a nice garnish to the final dish. So this, of course, needed some kind of like dipping or something. So I actually added sour cream, and that was a perfect little combination. Super yummy. I hope you enjoy, and